Hello everyone, today I have another crazy... Wait, I mean, if you're here from Game 3, welcome back. If you haven't seen Games 1 through 3, go check them out now, or don't. You're a free, autonomous human being capable of making your own decision to start with Game 4 if that's what pleases you. So, let's get started. NA East, Solo FNCS Finals, FaZe Megga Game 4. Alright, so... Games 1 through 3, really good performance. 2 kills, 1 kill, 2 kill, 10th place, 13th place, 2nd place. Game 4, 0 kills, but 17th place. So definitely racking in some more placement points here. So yeah, I mean, just really strong performance coming out in 4 games in a row. Just consistency. So let's jump right into Game 4. All right, let's, as soon as the battle bus gets up in the air, I'll open the battle bus view. By hitting 6 on my keyboard. Okay, so the battle bus is going diagonal through the map, and Megga's gonna land at his normal spot down at the houses. Looks like a different rotation this time. Kind of loops north. And then comes back around to the swamp to where he normally goes. But looks like the final circle is right down here in the swamp, so he really doesn't have to travel far at all. So that's good. For him anyway. Is it actually going to put me on the gameplay? There it is. Okay, so once again, same drop location. Let's see if he is able to scout at all. He's really, I mean, kind of nailing these. That's a great drop. I mean, it doesn't give him a lot of time to scout, but I feel like he's probably pretty confident at this point that no one else is landing here. So he's able to just get really nice low drops that bring him right into where he wants to go, and then quickly just starts looting up, and then fishing, and then farming. So my game crashed again, but we're about in the same place here. So he's just farming, just like normal. He's gonna fish, get as much fish as possible. Has a blue AR, blue pump this time. Not a bad loadout. Could be better, but definitely not the worst. Getting his floppers. See if he gets any slurp fish here. There's another blue pump. And only 3 floppers this time. Gonna rotate north here. Farm this metal. So I guess this is another option that he has to come up to these cars and farm metal. If he's in the zone, if he's already in the zone, it looks like that might be what he's doing. So since he has circle here, he can spend a little bit more time rotating up here to loot whatever's up here and also farm those cars. Whereas normally, if he's not in the circle, he goes ahead and he comes down here to get a shield and to farm a little bit down here too. So he just has extra time, right? So if you're in the first circle, you just have more time to kind of do what you need to do because you don't have to go rotate anywhere. Whereas normally, especially in these big tournaments, most of the people here want to rotate as soon as they can. And they don't want to spend any extra time doing things that aren't necessary for them to do. So, because he's in the circle, it looks like he's able to rotate north, farm a little bit more, get a little bit more loot. Now he's going to come back to, this is his normal chest that has been going to every other game. Game 1, 2, and 3, he's hit that chest, and then come here to get shield. This game, he has the circle, he rotates north, gets a little bit more farming done, a little bit more looting, and then he comes down here to get shield. So he doesn't use any of his minis, he hasn't used any shield yet. Now he's just getting shield from the slurp containers. I don't know what you guys call it. Let me know what you guys call those things. I just call them slurp containers. I don't really know what they're supposed to be called. Slurp canisters or something. And he doesn't see anyone here. I mean, normally there's people here. There have been. I mean, and this is already looted, but it looks like since he took a little bit more time this time to get here, they've already kind of rotated out, or they're on the rig, or whatever they're doing. Looks like he might have taken fire. Someone might have fired at him right there, but didn't hit him. That's why he's building, just protecting himself, being cautious. It's a little hard to see what's going on when I have it at 2 times speed, but it just is quite boring just watching him in these early games because it's the same stuff pretty much. It's very repetitive. Nothing really different happens. In the case that, and I think it does happen in some of these games, he dies early. We'll definitely take more time and kind of see what happens in those fights. But in these ones where it's just the same old stuff that's happening, then I definitely want to keep it going faster just to make the videos not quite as long and for it not to take as long to get through the whole game. Okay, so I don't really know what he's doing here. I mean, I guess I'm looking for anything that's unlooted or maybe something he can farm. Oh, he's looking for a boat. Okay. So looking for a boat. He's now found the boat. There's a guy right here who's going to shoot at him. They're going to sort of engage. I'm going to assume Megga's not really going to want to fight. Takes shots at him. Hasn't taken any damage. Tries to throw the whatever that is at him to see who it is, probably. This guy's still shooting at him. He's protecting himself really well. Does take about 25 damage there. But sees that guy is engaging with someone else and just runs away. Or is it? No, maybe he's not engaging with someone. He just got caught up in the tree. Probably lost track of where Megga was. So now he feels a little more safe. So he's just going to keep rotating. Takes a shot at whoever that was. Knight, I think. Gets a 25 dink there. So a little bit of storm. Going to farm back up as wood here. I mean, this is the best place to farm wood, obviously. There's the most concentration of wood resources at this place. So used a whole bunch of wood there to protect himself, but then was able to just farm it right back up. He's going to go ahead and grab some mushrooms to get his shield back up. Doesn't have any big shields this time, which is unfortunate, but does have the harpoon. And I'm sure you've seen people use the harpoon and how efficient the harpoon can be when it comes time to either farm or just for grabbing loot. It's actually really, really good. And then breaking people's builds as well. The harpoon is really, really good. So he's 58 above the damage threshold for Storm Surge. So doing okay. It's not too far above, but probably going to be fine. I don't think many people need to die before that to go away anyway. I think because of the point change when they made kills worth 4 points, I definitely think there's less people alive in these lobbies than there were last FNCS. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but it seems like Storm Surge is less of an issue in this tournament, this most recent tournament that just happened, the solos FNCS. And I think it's because people are being a little bit more aggressive because they know that kills are worth 4 points. I mean, you get 4 kills and die in 50th place, like, you're going to have the same amount of kills as someone who, like Megga in this case, doesn't get any kills and then dies in 17th place, maybe even more. So I think people that are really, really confident in their box fighting skills or in their mid-game fights, they're definitely pushing people and going for kills. Megga, though, definitely not one of those people. Not that he's not confident. I mean, Megga's definitely one of the, best mechanical players in the game. I mean, that's obvious by the way that he's continued to place in these tournaments, but in these grand finals, he plays very, very safe. Doesn't want to engage with anyone early game or mid game, wants to just get picks late game and then play for placement. And to be honest, even at the World Cup, I remember when he was playing with dubs, I know that in the duos when he was playing with dubs in the World Cup, they played a very safe game. And at that point, ballers were in the game, and they would get ballers almost every game and just play for placement and play safe. So hasn't really changed too much. He's still doing the same thing, but adapting to whatever the meta is. And the meta right now is having floppers, and he found himself a landing spot where he can be guaranteed to get floppers and kind of won over that spot. I mean, in the qualifying tournaments leading up to this, people I know were landing on him. At one point, I know at least one person was landing with him, and they were fighting off spawn every game. But he kind of, either that person didn't qualify for finals, or he, eventually just like you scare someone off, and that's what these guys that are the best at the game right now are able to do. They kind of pick their spot and they're like, look, this is my spot and I'm going to fight you until you stop landing here. And that's probably what happened. Okay, so again, already in the circle. he made a good rotation. And again, he didn't have to go far, so he was able to rotate early, like well before most of the people even came into play. So he's able to get into a good position and kind of build up, and now he's in middle. And just like kind of gaining information and looking for people to tag, and gets a 25 tag there. He's 13 above, so not very far above. So probably looking for someone here to tag like as much as possible. Gets a 33 tag there, so now he's 48 above, so a little bit more comfortable. Still just gaining information, looking for someone he can tag. All right, so again, it's the same. He seems to like the early rotation here. So as soon as the storm hit, he was pretty much moving. And again, I mean, call it luck, call it whatever. He was, you know, sort of to the middle of the circle. So in the half and half circle, right? What you'll hear people say, and what a lot of these people do. Once they're in, they're just going to sit and wait for half and half, because the odds are, I mean, they're not in your favor that you're going to get half and half, but like if you do get half and half, then you're just straight chilling. You don't really have to do anything. So a lot of these guys will just wait on the edge as soon as they get in. That's why you see so many people just on the edge and not pushed in, because if you push in, you're going to get lasered by everyone, right? So they just sit on the edge and they just wait and hope that they get half and half, and then everyone just tries to rotate at the same time pretty much. Megga, however, was in the center, pretty much close to the center of this circle. So as soon as he knows that wherever this pops, he's going to be not too far away, but 100% not going to be in it. So he knew at that point, I'm going to have to move, and I'm going to be probably close to it. So I'm just going to go immediately. And that's exactly what he does. So as soon as it pops, he edits and he starts moving. And he wasn't far. He was like right here. So he just immediately started moving in. And does get tagged, though. I mean, someone was probably waiting for him to move, who was already in that circle probably, and gets tagged. But, you know, that's probably the best thing for him to do. Rather than waiting for everyone else rather than waiting for all these people to start moving, he just moves early, gets into position, and now he can start shooting people who are flying in, or who are just trying to rotate on foot or whatever. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good call. Gonna spray at these people who he sees are engaged in a fight down here, and who Fishy carries is really low. Dies to Nico though. 52 above. Storm Surge. I don't even feel like he's really tagged that many people very much, so it seems like as long as you just get a couple of tags as either early game or as you're rotating mid game, it seems like that you should be okay on Storm Surge for this tournament anyway. I don't know if it's always like that or what, but so just gaining information here, just looking through his cone. He probably feels like he's not on the greatest layer here because he doesn't have vision behind him. And with Bizzle right there adjacent to him is kind of awkward too. So he's probably trying to look for like a better layer if possible. But I mean, this isn't too bad, I guess, but just with people right next to you and on the same layer as you and kind of blocking your vision in different ways, then it's kind of not ideal. But in the same token, I mean, if they're blocking you, then that means other people can't shoot you. So I guess it's not that bad. I'm just going to go ahead and rotate here. I mean, well, let me see what's happening. It was lagging. So rotates a little bit. Gets up. I think he just went up a layer and then built in, and then built a box. Yeah. So like I said, he was just trying to find a better layer. So now he has more vision. He can kind of gather more information and figure out where he wants to go for this next circle, which pulls straight west, I believe. So not really good for anyone. I mean, there's no one over here, so everybody kind of has to move here pretty far. Finds a launch pad someone else placed. I think someone else placed that launch pad. And, you know, while everyone is flying, like, there's not really anybody that's going to be shooting at you. So I think a good decision, you know, to just recognize everybody has to go over here. And so as soon as I hear people start to fly, I'm just going to fly. And, like, chances are, I mean, if someone is shooting, like, the odds are they're not going to shoot you just by statistically. There's a bunch of people in the air. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to be flying when no one else is flying or when no one else is doing anything. Which you see happen. I mean, even in these games, you see these pros sometimes take a launch pad because it's their only option, really, and they just get destroyed because there's people who are already rotated into the next circle and they just get destroyed. But most of the time they do it because there's no other option. It's like, I'm not going to make it into the circle on foot. I'm just going to try to launch pad and just hopefully I don't get killed. But 9 times out of 10 they do because everyone's already looking for them. But in this case, it was fine. And then, yet again, Megga just being patient, you know, just patiently waiting. And someone dies and their loot falls right into his lap. I mean, some may say it's luck, but I don't know. I mean, he kind of was just being really patient and not pushing anything too hard. Chose to kind of play the backside of the zone this time. I don't know if that's a good choice or not. Probably, I don't know. I mean, he's about to die here. I think he'd come in 17th. He probably dies too. But yeah, just put himself in a weird position. Yeah, then dies to someone on low ground. So, I don't know. Let me go back a little bit. This is when I keep clicking on people accidentally. This is when, okay, so here's Megga. This is when the zone pulls far west. I mean, he's right smack in the middle of everyone, so he couldn't really... Alright, so I'm looking north. Alright, so I'm looking north. Megga's here, and everyone has to go west. Yeah, I mean, he's just too far behind everyone to get ahead into the front. That would be pretty difficult. So he chooses to play... He chooses to just... Well, this is when he takes the launch pad. Yeah, this is when everyone launches. He actually did get to the front here. Okay, so he lands and gets to the front, but then doesn't continue... Oh, he does. He continues to tarp in front. But then stops, right? So something happened here, and he stops kind of pushing that front of the zone. I mean, someone probably just blocked him off, and then he somehow gets stuck in the storm. That was when the loot fell right into his lap, right? So all that loot fell into his lap, and he kind of stayed in storm to gather the loot and to heal up. But this rogue shark on height just kind of messed him up there. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was like too terrible of a play. I just think that if possible, he could have tried to stay up in the front of that moving zone there. It would have been better. But you know, in the moment, something probably happened and kind of blocked him off. And then that loot fell into his face, and he wanted to get the loot. So, I mean, overall, really not a bad game. I mean, 0 kills, but 17th place. So, placement points. But I don't know. Probably could have played it a little bit better there to try to stay at the front of the zone rather than lagging behind like that. I mean, because he wasn't on height. I mean, if he was on height, it would have been different. Like, that's why Rogue Shark was able to do what he did, just because he had height there. And he was just kind of bullying Megga because Megga was right below him. He was the person that was closest to him. So then you try to get into a different layer. But then there was that loot that Megga was trying to use. And so, I don't know. But even Rogue Shark goes down there too. So, I mean, he didn't hold height. Maybe he ran out of mats. I don't know. Anyway, overall, not that bad. 17th place, game 4. I will catch you in game 5.